What's up, people? In this video, we're going to take a look at Lockdown 23 and 1. I was not recommended a specific video. I kind of want to do this one, what happens to fat guys in prison. Seeing as this is kind of a health channel, sort of. My channel is kind of health-ish related, and this, being fat is an issue that we do toss around here from time to time. So I guess we'll do this one. Lockdown 23 and 1 told me to do this. Spotted elephant. Somebody else told me to do this, and like another person commented like, "Oh, he's fake," blah blah blah, whatever. I don't know. Looks like if he told me he'd been to prison, I'd believe him. No offense, dog, but like just he has the look. Anyway, we're gonna watch this. If you guys have any other recommendations, let me know.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Lockdown 23 and 1. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about overweight and obese individuals that might be facing some penitentiary time. What to expect for these fat guys? Are they going to be picked on? Are they going to be forced to work out? Or can they just lay there, eat honey buns and potato chips until they're released? What we're going to talk about, but first let me say this. Okay, this channel is very unique. And if you follow this channel and watch a lot of these interviews that I do, okay, you are getting a wealth of knowledge and understanding of the penitentiary. And it ain't just from where I've been. You know, the information that I give you now, that this channel has progressed and I've learned so much, the information that I give you is not just gonna be based upon my penitentiary that I've been to. It's gonna be based upon all the information that I've learned from people doing time in all these different prisons across the country. So with that being said, let's break it down. First things first, in the West Coast, look, homeboy, if you get locked up over there or anywhere close to it that follows the program outlines of the California Department of Corrections, you're gonna be forced to work out. From what I hear, you're gonna be forced to hit dirt and get them burpees in, dog. You're not gonna sit there and munch away on zooms and wham-whams your whole damn bid. You're gonna be programmed. So anybody that's overweight can't even do a damn push-up. I strongly suggest you do not commit crimes in California Department of Corrections or any state that you might have heard on my channel that follows the program lines of California. Now over here in the East Coast of Virginia, okay, are you gonna be forced to work out? Hell no. Ain't nobody forcing nobody to work out. You can sit on your bunk in the state of Virginia and eat honey buns for 7 years straight. Are you gonna get picked on though? Yeah, I mean, look, it's just like anything else in the streets. There's individuals that pick on people's downfall. If you're overweight, they'll pick on you because you're overweight. If you're really short, someone's gonna pick on you because you're really short. It doesn't matter where you're at, penitentiary or not, someone's gonna pick on you. Any kind of downfall you might have going on, someone's gonna find it and attack. That's just how it goes. Any penitentiary you go to. But at least you're not gonna be forced to work out over here in Virginia. And I can guarantee a lot of East Coast penitentiaries. If you wanna better yourself, if you wanna lose weight, if you wanna get a group of guys and start working out on a regular basis, it's up to you. And that's how it should be. It shouldn't be up to someone else to say, hey, you gotta lose 50 pounds or else you're gonna get got. That's ridiculous, But some people actually do kind of need that push or that force to really better themselves in life. But is it right? Just because it's going to better you, should someone be able to force you to do it? No,
Interesting point. I kind of just discovered these like prisoner or ExCon YouTubers, I guess, like Wes Watson. Obviously I did that video of him. He's a very intense guy. Video did very well, which is why I was recommended to do this one. This might, depending on how this video does, this might become like the ExCon review YouTube channel. Go figure. Anyway, this guy seems fairly intelligent, and despite what you guys might think, like what's the stereotype about criminals, right? Is that they're stupid, like whatever, I'm simplifying. Some criminals are very smart, right? Some of them are very intelligent because you have to, it's that predator-prey mentality, right? Where you have to develop, you're always kind of paranoid about getting caught, so you have to think more than a normal person would have to think in order to not get caught. You've got to have all these little tricks and all these like little things that you do to, number one, avoid getting caught, or number two, if you actually do get caught, avoid it or make it seem at least like plausible that it wasn't your fault or that the drugs weren't yours or like whatever it was. So this leads to a lot of people developing a very, I don't know, use a cliche term like street smarts, right? And another thing, because I'm obviously never been to prison, not an ex-con. I did have a period of my life where I spent, where I got caught up in the California legal system more than anybody should ever want to spend. And what I noticed is that I thought this was very weird, but also interesting, is that you have a lot of these people, I don't know, criminals or whatever you want to call them, not criminals, but like people who've been arrested or going through the court system. A lot of these people, they know a lot about how the court system works. They know that, okay, first you go, and I've forgotten by now, it's been so long, but like first you get arrested, you go to the holding cell, then maybe you go to county, then you have your arraignment, or not arraignment, but like, I think it's called an arraignment, right? I clearly don't like know that much about it anymore. But anyway, they know all these little steps, they know all these procedures, they know what you have to do to beat it, they know this one guy who did this and this happened. It's almost like the bro science bodybuilding world, where like, yeah, okay, you don't have any like scientific studies on how like, you know, this steroid affects you if you do it for 8 weeks instead of 6 weeks at this dosage, but you know a guy who did this, 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 and this, and another guy who did this, and like you combine those two experiences or maybe more to kind of get a good idea of how things might go for you if you took a certain course of action. And that's the like, I don't want to call it open communication, but let's call it semi-open communication between people going through the legal system is kind of what leads to this wealth of knowledge, let's say, plus the inherent deviousness of people who are trying to avoid getting caught for something that being on their mind 24/7 does lead to frequent critical thought, let's call it, which is why I think a lot of these like ExCon YouTubers are getting so popular now, because they offer advice and motivation which comes from like it's like wisdom almost, but it's unconventional because it comes from a place of like, you know, it's not typical to like have to spend time in prison or like potentially spend time in prison for some action that you did. It's not the business world normally. That's not like the fitness world, clearly. It's not, there's like no real other category that it fits into. So it could be a nice niche, any ex-cons out there.
No one should be able to force you to do anything, even though you might need it. But just to sum all this up, like I said, if you're overweight, chances are someone's going to mess with you, man. But look, there's two things involved with this whole thing. Okay? You got overweight, your physical appearance, and then you got your character. I've seen guys that's ridiculously overweight, but at the same time, their character's on point, and they're running shit in the penitentiary. There's actually a guy not too long ago, man, this drug dealer from my area. He was super overweight. He never left his house, never left his room. He had security cameras all over the room, but this dude, man, he had plenty of power out here. I mean, he was calling shots left and right. He couldn't even get out of his damn bed. So it just depends. But I can tell you this, your character will bring you a long way, even if you're overweight or you got any kind of other problems going on. If you have good, strong character, it's going to take you a long way in the penitentiary. But check it out. Remember this one guy, big, overweight, obese individual. He was a monster on the softball field. He couldn't run fast, but this guy was guaranteed to hit a home run every single time. The softball field is big, okay? But, you know, when you got big dudes coming up the bat, they hit him over the fence on a regular basis. Now, this fat guy, I can't remember his name, but I do remember he had so many damn tattoos and naked women. It was unbelievable. I'm talking about all over his damn body. But anyways, we were playing a softball team, and I was on the fat guy's team. Okay, our team was the best in the yard. No one could stand a chance against us, but this team right here had a little bit of kickback when we were playing, all right? It got close sometimes. But anyways, this fat guy was up the bat, and the pitcher of the other team, you know, softball, you throw it underhand, okay? And every time this dude came up the bat, the only thing that he couldn't hit with softball, the pitcher, if the pitcher threw it really high, okay? The pitcher used to throw the shit like 20 feet in the air, and it would drop right on the home plate, you know? And the fat guy couldn't stand it, because he couldn't hit him like that. He had to hit him with a little bit of a straight-in shot. So finally, this guy snapped, you know, started calling the pitcher names, and it wasn't taken care of until we got back in the block. And I didn't think anything of it. I wasn't following it. I didn't think it was going to turn into something more. I thought it was done at the softball field, but that wasn't the case, all right? So we were running back to the pod after they called rec call from the softball match, and, you know, that's typically what happens. All the young bucks, they will be running their ass off to get first in that shower, because nobody wants to sit in that damn line, and there's no AC in the penitentiary, so you just want to hurry up and get in that shower, dress out, and start relaxing. But anyways, I make it to the shower, I get out and I'm drying off, and I see a crowd of people slowly but surely start looking in the direction of the cell. I'm like, oh shit, something's going on. All these people looking over to the cell, so I ran up to the front of my door in my boxers and was trying to see what's going on. And finally, the big dude that was out there causing a commotion on the softball field with the other pitcher, turns out he's the one who got into it, okay? He got into it with the pitcher guy. So when he comes out the cell, look, this is the thing about this big dude. He had these white t-shirts, okay? He had these custom-made white t-shirts that someone would cut in half and extend it and sew it together to make one huge t-shirt. They didn't even have t-shirts his size. So he comes out of his cell and he's walking towards the control booth. My cell is right next to the damn control booth, all right? So he's coming closer to me. And as he got closer, I could tell he got shanked up a few times. He got hit up in his front, side, and back. He had these little red globs all over his t-shirt. CO saw that shit, locked it down. Came and got the baseball pitcher from the other team, and I'm sure he's gonna be facing a lot more time. But look, believe it or not, when you're overweight, man, all that fat will save your damn life. I had a dude Fat and Saucy on this show one time. He got shot 7 times.
Interesting. You know, this is what's so interesting about these, like, let's call them ExCon YouTubers, right? That's the name that I've officially given them. Like I said, this guy, Wes Watson, and there's another guy who I found whose name is, I want to say Aboud or Aboud. Aboud. He's like this Arab, like, Guido, like, it's weird. He's like an Arab Guido mafia ex-con or something. I don't know who this guy is, but like, definitely check out his channel. He tells crazy stories like this too. He's like, yeah, like I was locked up one time and I knew this guy. We called him Big Tony, and like Big Tony knew me and I knew him, but we never talked before. But like he had respect for me, I had respect for him. He's like Sopranos type shit. It's very interesting. I forget how I like found this guy's videos, but like they all tell these like crazy stories. This guy seems like, you know, he's a little bit younger. Seems to, despite his like all his tattoos, seems to have seems to be like have less emotional. Seems like he would be able to like transition back into the normal world easier. I don't know. I have no idea, but like clearly less affected than Wes Watson, who's like I don't know. Wes Watson just got out, right? Got out like less than a year ago, as far as I know. And Abood just is like straight up like I don't know what this guy does. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he like works in like waste management or something. But it's so interesting to hear these stories, right? It's almost like listening to like military stories, of like crazy shit happening in the military, except it's almost like it's like the military, except nobody's like people aren't on the same side. It's like everybody's against each other, kind of. There's like little alliances that form, but they might be temporary. And like, think about it. How crazy is this? Like you're on the softball field, and the pitcher, like whatever, you lose your temper for a second because the pitcher throws a type of pitch that you can't hit, and you say something, maybe you call him out, call him like a little bitch or something, whatever, and then you get stabbed like fucking 10 times. Like how insane is that? Like how high are the stakes in prison? It's kind of crazy.
And the doctor said if it wasn't for all the fat he had, he'd probably been dead. But yeah, that's typically how I've seen people get shanked up. It was the aftermath. They're either crawling out their cell, walking to the CO's box with a blood trail behind them, something along those lines, or they're just flat out passed out, knocked out in the cell. We see the stretcher come. People were really good in the prisons I was in about shanking someone and not getting caught. I knew numerous people that were putting in work and never got caught. Never got caught. It's crazy, man. Now I got another story for y'all, and this combination right here definitely doesn't end well for a bigger individual, okay? Overweight individual. If you are overweight, you better be getting in that shower 24/7, because shit like this might just happen to you, all right? I was in the penitentiary. I was receiving, okay? Inmates are not there for too long. They get their little classification card, what prison they're going to, and that's it. But this fat guy that was in this receiving penitentiary, he never took showers, okay? He was overweight, okay? That's one thing, okay? But if you won't take showers and you're overweight, it's a different kind of funk, my friend. I mean, this guy was one of those dirty individuals where the knuckles, you see fat dudes' knuckles sometimes, them janks be dirty and everything. I'm like, how the hell are your knuckles dirty, man? What the hell are you doing? This is prison, man. There ain't really nothing you get. You ain't out there working out in the yard. How the hell is your knuckles dirty, man? Anyway, his knuckles always used to be filthy. His kneecaps would have like this skin condition and stuff. I don't know. When you're overweight, you tend to have skin conditions and other problems start to happen when you're overweight. Believe it or not, it's very bad for you to be overweight. But this guy definitely had a cheese smell rolling with him anywhere he went. And some guys got tired of it. They threatened his ass to put him in the shower if he didn't get in the shower. He said, I'm not getting in the shower. I told him, I'm not getting in the shower. I get in the shower when I want to. Well, that didn't end well. They yoked that fat boy up, threw him in the shower, and started hitting him with detergent. I mean, it was like 6 dudes sitting there smacking him with damn detergent all over his body. They didn't even get him undressed. They just started throwing him in the water and smacking him with detergent. Soap suds everywhere in that damn shower for the next 2 days. So yeah, you better take a damn shower. Someone will definitely throw your stank ass in the shower in the penitentiary. And you ain't got to be fat, okay? If you are a skinny dude, medium dude, fat dude, and you stink, you're not taking showers, someone's gonna throw your ass in the shower or throw your ass out the cell block. That's how it is. You need to take showers in prison. And look, I got one more story for y'all.
So one thing that I think is interesting about these prison stories, and again, I'm not sure if like, I don't know like to what degree these guys are cherry picking their stories to be YouTube friendly or advertiser friendly or whatever it is, but they all seem to have like a certain level of like honor attached to them, or respect, I guess, right? Like think about the showering thing. This is an obvious example, but if you smell really bad, right, and you're in confined quarters without the possibility of leaving with hundreds, if not thousands, of other people, you're not being considerate to other people. So I don't know. There's no rule in prison. You have to beat somebody's ass and throw them in the shower and throw like laundry detergent at them if they don't shower. It's all just kind of self-policing, right? And I watched in the Wes Watson video that I watched, he said that there was he was just like going off kind of, and he said something like, if you're in the yard and you're playing basketball and the basketball rolls into like the other race's yard, you have to like wait for them to throw it back, or you can't like walk through their part of the yard. You have to like walk all the way around or something. And even just something as simple as like walking through their yard like is grounds for like getting your ass beat later, like crazy shit like that. Like the discipline is so crazy, and it's all self-policed, right? Or I don't say all of it, like obviously, there are rules in prison you have to abide by, but a lot of it is self-policed. And that, I think that level of, I don't know, it's called discipline or structure. I think that appeals to a lot of people in the normal world because it's a free-for-all out here. There's no discipline. There's no, beyond the basics of like not being violent against another human being when you're on the street, or not openly stealing, or vandalizing something, there's not really any rules of conduct. You tell somebody off to their face on the street, what's really going to happen? There's no real consequences for that. But if you do that in prison, it could be your last day alive, right? So I think it's also kind of interesting.
Oh, every fat dude I've seen in the penitentiary always had canteen. I don't know what it is, but they always had plenty of canteen, and they were always eating. And there was actually in this one prison a strange anomaly that you don't typically see too often. Okay, and that's two fat guys that are like best friends. Typically, you're not going to see two really obese individuals in the penitentiary just walking and chilling together, but I did. But anyways, these two guys got into it one day, and when they started fighting, it was like watching Godzilla. Okay, it's every time big dudes get in a fight, man, those are the best fights because chairs and tables are going to be flipped, and it's just funny because big guys get winded quick too. But these guys, they're rumbling, right? They're rumbling, pushing each other back like freaking Godzilla, running into buildings and tables and knocking chess pieces over. And then finally, this fat dude, man, they were swinging fists, right? They were swinging fists, but the fists were so damn slow. It was like slow motion watching these guys swing their fists. But this one guy, he connected. He connected with the slowest damn punch I've ever seen in my life. And when that punch connected, man, it was crazy seeing the other fat guy get knocked out from it because it definitely didn't look like a punch that would knock anybody out, But it did knock Fat Boy out. He rolls over underneath the stairs and he's just slumped out. But it is always fun to see big dudes fight, man. You never know what's going to happen, especially when they get tired out. When they get tired out, they'll lock up like this. They'll lock up, holding on to each other and they'll just be breathing. They're not doing nothing, hoping to God to see how it's going to break this shit up because they're ready to go eat honey buns again. It just depends on where you're locked up at. Some places are going to force you to work out, like I said.
So I remember when I was in high school, I played football, right? I was on the football team. I wasn't very good, but at least I was on the team, right? So we had all these coaches, and we had this one coach who's he was a coach for the receivers, I think. He was either a coach for the receivers or for the cornerbacks. I'm not sure if he was I think he was a coach for the corners, right? He was just really short, I don't know, maybe 5'6", 5'7", short, skinny black guy, ran super fast, right? Always wore sunglasses. Never saw what his eyes looked like, right? And he, they would all tell stories. And one time he was telling us a story about how, he was playing. He didn't play ball anymore. I think he was in college or something. He's telling a story about how he was in the locker room and he was talking shit to one of the linemen, right? Because normally linemen, they're big, fat, 300-pound guys. You don't think of them as the pinnacle of human fitness. And generally, if you view somebody as not being very fit and you consider yourself an athlete, you have muscles, you can run faster, obviously not stronger than 300-pound linemen, but you look more athletic, you're going to kind of talk a little bit of shit because what is this fat guy trying to talk shit to you? Anyway, he says that he was in the locker room and he started giving some lip some fat lineman, and the lineman just grabbed him and lifted him up and pinned him against the lockers. And he was since then I never talked shit to any lineman ever, right? He was very humble about it. And it kind of makes you realize how, not necessarily, I won't say how strong fat people are, but if you are, it's the laws of physics, right? What was it? Force equals mass times acceleration. I can't believe I remember that. But anyway, if you're really big, if you weigh 400 pounds and you I weigh about 180 right now. I would think twice. I would think more than twice. I would probably, am I the best fighter in the world? Probably not. Also, I think as a result of train some combat sports for a little bit, I could probably take somebody my size who has no idea what they're doing. But if you put me against some guy who's twice my weight, who has no idea how to fight, I don't think I would want to fight that person. Even somebody who's got maybe 60, 70 pounds on me, I would not want to if they're reasonably fit, because that weight makes a difference, Why do you think they break up weight classes, or they'll do boxing, combat sports by weight class? Because that shit makes a difference, even a couple pounds. Well, at that level, maybe a couple pounds. But one shot from a bigger guy, you're out. That extra 50 pounds is going to make a difference. So anyway, I just thought of that one.
If you're on the West Coast, you're a fat boy, do not commit crimes because you're going to be doing the burpee game 24/7. Even though you might not want to do it, it might be the best thing for you though. Now if you come over here to Virginia or the majority of East Coast states, man, you're not going to be forced to work out. Chances are you're going to get through your time just fine. But just to wrap this video up, yes, you can be overweight in the penitentiary and you're probably more likely going to get picked on regardless of where you're at. Streets or not, streets or penitentiary, if you got some kind of physical problem with you, chances are there's going to be some punk ass dude that's going to pick on you. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, ladies and gentlemen. Please do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button.
I like this video. This was good. I feel like one of the things about these ExCon YouTubers is that maybe some of them like ham it up a little bit, like they play into the whole like I was in prison, I did this, I'm an ex-con, whatever, and like they like ham up the like tough guy attitude a little bit. He seems a little bit more down to earth in that regard. Very, very likable, very relatable. I like this video. 23-1. Like why would people talk shit about this guy? I'm gonna leave a comment. Just found your channel. Love the video. Definitely keeping it real. Good stuff. Good stuff, man. Whatever. Kind of feel like doing another Wes Watson video. Maybe this one. Anyway, you guys got any more recommendations for videos or YouTubers? Let me know. Peace.